What if music wasn't just an art form, but a cosmic force? Across the world, ancient cultures have always revered sound as something more than entertainment. But in Hindu cosmology, this truth takes its most breathtaking form through the Gandharvas, the celestial beings whose entire existence is dedicated to music, rhythm, and vibration. Far from being mere performers for the gods, the Gandharvas are described as custodians of harmony, the ones who weave sound into the fabric of reality itself. Imagine a universe where every note is alive, where a melody has the power to heal, to enchant, to inspire, and even to shape destiny. That is the universe the Gandharvas inhabit. The Vedic scriptures describe the Gandharvas as radiant beings, neither fully divine like the Devas nor fully mortal like us, but existing in a luminous in between. They are often depicted as masters of music and song, with voices so captivating that they could soften the hearts of even the fiercest warriors and draw the attention of the gods themselves. But the power wasn't just in charm. Their songs carried knowledge, spiritual truths, cosmic secrets, and divine frequencies that could alter states of consciousness. To hear a Gandharva sing was to be reminded that sound is not only heard by the ear but felt by the soul. In Hindu cosmology, the role of Gandharvas goes much deeper than music. They are described as guardians of Soma, the divine nectar of immortality, linking them directly to the mysteries of life and transcendence. They are also known as guides between realms, meditators between the gods and humans, carrying divine wisdom through their art. Some stories even portray them as escorts of souls, leading beings across the invisible bridge between the physical and spiritual worlds with the resonance of their song. It's almost as if their music functioned as the ultimate universal passport, granting passage across dimensions. And it wasn't just in the heavens that their influence was felt. Ancient texts describe how Gandharvas would visit earth, teaching music and rhythm to sages and seers, offering humanity glimpses of the celestial art form. In fact, many schools of Indian classical music trace their spiritual lineage back to the Gandharvas. From them, music wasn't about entertainment, but about sadhana, a spiritual practice that elevated the mind, balanced the emotions, and aligned the individual with the greater cosmos. To learn music, in that sense, was to train the soul to vibrate in harmony with the universe. But the Gandharvas were not without complexity. Mythology also paints them as beings prone to desire, passion, and temptation. They are often associated with love and sensuality, sometimes sent by the gods themselves to disturb sages in deep meditation. This dual nature makes them fascinating. On one hand, carriers of divine truth through sound, and on the other, reminders of the pool of worldly pleasures. It's almost as if they represent music itself, capable of elevating us to higher state of awareness, but equally capable of ensnaring us in longing and attachment. When we look at the Gandharvas symbolically, their existence speaks to something profoundly human. They remind us that sound and music are not accidental creations of culture, but reflections of cosmic truth. Every time we are moved by a song, every time music brings us to tears or help us remember something beyond words, we are touching the same realm the Gandharvas inhabit. Their stories reminds us that music has always been a bridge between mind and spirit, between earth and heaven, between the finite and the infinite. In the modern times, we might think of pop stars, rock icons, or virtuoso performers as larger than life figures. But the Gandharvas suggests that the real power of music is not in fame or performance, but in resonance, in the way sound can align us with something greater than ourselves, whether we are chanting a mantra, listening to a sacred rag, or simply humming a tune that lifts our mood. We are engaging in the same ancient practice that the Gandharvas perfected, using sound to shape consciousness. So the next time you listen to music that moves you, think of the Gandharvas. Think of those celestial musicians whose melodies were said to echo across realms, whose songs carried divine knowledge, and whose influence still ripples through the world today. Their untold stories remind us that music isn't just background noise or entertainment, it is a force, a teacher, and perhaps the most direct language of the soul. The Gandharvas were never just mystical figures, they were and still are symbols of cosmic harmony. And if you listen closely, maybe their song is still being played, not in some faraway heaven, but right here, in the rhythm of your own heartbeat, in the vibrations of the earth, and in the music that stirs your soul. And as always, thank you for watching. It's beyond belief.